I am Stanley Mosk, Attorney General of the State of California. The elements that go to make up a fine young person in our society are generally threefold. First, loving parents. Secondly, intelligent teachers. And thirdly, a wholesome environment in which to grow up. But all too many of our young people today lack one, two, or even all three of these elements. And therefore, we have what we call juvenile delinquency. The community then has an obligation to provide those missing elements. When I speak of the community, I mean society generally, officially, and also private organizations which work in this field. Any private organization that gives to youngsters the opportunity to do something useful and constructive gives them a chance then of belonging, of participating, of winning the approval and approbation of their elders and of their contemporaries. Any such organization in our society today is doing a most useful and constructive thing, both for the young people and for the community in which they live.
Well, I left my kids with their mom in San Francisco. They haven't heard from me in 10 years. I left my sweetheart for a bartender. I see the devil laughing at me in my beer. I left home when I was just a baby. For life.
What does it mean? Is
Sure.
it children that aren't with the parents that are their real parents that have been put into a home?
Well, that's a pretty wide open question.
You know, that's a really tough and a good question.
I feel abused. I feel lonely, black and blue. I feel worn out, ain't kid no more. Just a burned out time.
I was a foster child way back in the old days.
I know it's kids that don't have a home or family or nothing. My girlfriend's mom is a foster parent, so she's got a couple kids like that. I hear you get paid some pretty good money too.
Foster parent.
Yeah, for being a foster parent. Yeah, I want to do it. I use it as my second job.
Easy to me.
How would I describe them? I just think they're kids. They're just kids like any other kid.
They're kids that are often unrepresented by the bigger picture in the system, that have a voice that's seldom heard, have needs that are often unmet, and are kids in adolescence who have people who make decisions for them that they don't really always know why. They're like our kids. They look the same, they act the same as teenagers and as infants, and they have the same kinds of struggles, the same kind of challenges that other kids in society have. But they go through life a little different, with the support systems maybe sometimes constantly changing and not being as secure and consistent as other kids in our communities. But I don't like to see them different. I don't like to look at them as a special group different from our community. But they are. They're an important reason why we do what we do, and I don't know. It's just a tough and a little bit question.
Almost nothing.
Well, what I've heard of in Sacramento, the SACB, they had an article on CPS that there's been, I don't know how many deaths this year, and the deaths have been, or the people before they died, the children have been reported to CPS, but they died before CPS could get out there, get a handle on the situation. There was a big article in the SACB. There's going to be a big investigation going on because they were notified of these child abuse cases and they didn't do anything about it.
Mostly what I know about foster care is mostly negative.
I hear it on TV all the time, just like she said. They farm these poor kids out who come from one abused relationship and now they're in another one, okay, with a bunch of people that don't even care about them. That's what I know about foster care. I don't think I've ever met anybody that was doing well in foster care. After all, if they're not your kids, you really don't care about them, not down deep. You might accept a check from the state for doing it. That's about the only reason most people are doing it.
What do I know about foster care? Not a lot. I've never been involved in it, but I understand that foster care is a good program to get kids into a healthy environment.
What I know about foster youth is that we are resilient and strong, motivated.
I don't know too much about foster care. My brother was a foster kid, and then my parents adopted him. But I was a baby, so I don't know anything about it. I know I can't be a foster parent because I'm single, and they wouldn't. I tried. They wouldn't even let me come fill out an application at the place right down the street.
What do you know about foster care?
Well, really not that much. I know you have to go through a lot to become a foster parent on the deal.
Have you ever known a foster youth, and what were your opinions of them?
No, I haven't. Not personally, I haven't on the deal.
Is this your best?
I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going west. Eastbound bus.
I've heard that a lot of foster kids are unhappy because I assume in my head that a lot of people get paid to take in the foster kids. They get a check from the government. And that some of them care about the kids, some of them just want the check, and the kids don't get the care that they need. They spend the money on other things, or the people just don't want to deal with the kids and stuff like that. And that's why some of the foster kids, you hear that a lot of them run away. But I think it's a good thing to have some places for these kids to go other than jail or something, or a mental hospital.
Well, you have to have responsibility and a safe, clean place for them. And clean clothes, you know where they're at all the time. You know, raise them and put them to school, but that's about it, all I know.
Can you pick the foster youth out of this picture?
The what?
Can you pick which child is the foster youth?
No, they're all cool. They're cute. I like kids, but I work all the time. I have no time.
I know people do it out of the graciousness of their heart. I know that it's not something that's very easily done emotionally, but I think it's fairly easy to become a foster parent.
Well, there's people, most that I've heard of, good things happen. The kids have a place to stay. They receive an education because of having a place to stay. And, a lot of times there just isn't any place for them to go.